Hello.
We're here.
Hi, welcome to Sidewalk Slam. Yes. Which I've been meaning to remember for the longest time. We just recorded an episode and I forgot that I wanted to open by saying, welcome to Sidewalk Slam.
Yeah.
A show where we talk about wrestling storylines. In case it wasn't clear what we actually talk about. We used to do it every show, but now it's too many shows, so now it's by pay-per-view. And
18 episodes in, and
we're basically
episode 18, right?
Yeah, we are trying to bring a positive look at wrestling because it's often very negative on the internet, and while still calling out stuff that we think is
kind of
flagrant
bullshit.
Yeah. And
because wrestling on its own is a very silly thing.
Oh, it's super silly,
but it's great.
Yeah,
we love it because it's silly.
Mm-hmm. So, just before WrestleMania, there was a network-only special event from Toronto called Roadblock, because it was the...
Oh, this is the second Roadblock we're covering this year.
Isn't that weird? Because it was the Roadblock. Yeah. It was a bump on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They couldn't think of enough pay-per-view names, I guess, because this is Roadblock End of the Line.
Yeah. Roadblock, semicolon,
End of the line. Because it's the last pay-per-view of the year.
I guess so, but why is it a roadblock?
I don't know. It's the last pay-per-view before the start of the road to WrestleMania. Yeah. I don't know why that makes it... I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a Raw brand only pay-per-view, and it is the last pay-per-view of 2016.
Yeah.
And the main event will be Kevin Owens defending the Universal title against Roman Reigns.
Internet darling, Roman Reigns.
And we will talk all about that.
Yes.
But let's get into it. Live from the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, brought to you by Tap Out and Toys R Us, is Roadblock End of the Line. People online were typing it as one word.
Yeah.
Roadblock End of the Line.
Roadblock
End of the Line. It's different from Roadblock.
Hashtag Roadblock End of the Line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the pre-show, Rusev.
Oh, right.
With Lana, defeated Big Cass in a one-on-one match.
Via countout.
Okay. Because of this dumb storyline.
Fucking sucks, by the way. Sorry, I just there's no other way to there's no way to sugarcoat it.
Let me try and blow through it real quick.
Okay.
Cass, as a goof, locks Enzo out of their locker room nude.
Yeah.
So Enzo's walking around backstage naked.
Yeah.
Runs into Lana, and he's like, how
you doing?
How you doing? Because he's like, what the hell else am I going to do? I'm naked, and Lana's here looking at me naked.
Yeah.
Rusev comes up and is like, what are you doing displaying yourself to my wife like this? Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, he gets his machismo on, and he's like, well, hey, man, what, you got a problem with what you've seen? And then Big Cass comes up and is like, hey, stay away from my friend. And Rusev's all annoyed about it.
Yeah.
And the next episode, or a different episode, they're in an argument. Rusev and Lana are in an argument backstage as Enzo and Cass are walking by, and Rusev's getting very belligerent, and Enzo's like, "Hey, I gotta do something about this," and Cass is like, "Please don't." So Enzo goes over and is like, "Hey, what's the problem here?" Just as Lana takes off her wedding ring and is like, "This means you're the only man who can have me," and throws it to the ground, and Rusev runs away in a huff.
Took her ring and threw it to the ground.
And Enzo's like, "All right," and then he tells Cass to keep going, and he picks up the ring and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Or whatever. And she's like, something, I need a real man. Hey, you should come to my hotel room later. And he's like, and so then he's talking to Cass later, and he's like, I'm going to go to this hotel because I got the hotel room from Lana. And Cass is like, don't do that. What the hell, man? And Enzo's like, you're right, I actually shouldn't. That's bad. And then Lana sends him a selfie where she's not wearing a shirt. You can't see anything, but she's not wearing a shirt. And he's like, yeah, maybe I should go, just to check it out. And, it's clear that his initial like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm naked. Was just being like, well, I'm here and I'm naked, so I may as well, turn on my character and be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And now he's like
trying to like play past the awkwardness of the situation.
Yeah.
Right?
And now he's like, oh, this is weird. But on the other hand, And so then Rusev and Big Cass are going to have a match because Rusev's mad at Big Cass for getting in his face the previous week.
Wasn't the Ric Flair thing? He runs into Ric Flair backstage, and Ric Flair lends him his limo.
Oh yeah. Or to Enzo, yeah.
To Enzo to go meet
Lana.
Hooray, adultery!
Thanks, Rick. Because his Uber can't find the place or whatever.
I can't believe we're fucking describing this right now.
So Cass is in the ring waiting for Rusev. Rusev's music hits. Rusev doesn't show up. Yeah. And then Cass is like, oh, holy crap. And he runs down to Timekeeper's area and is like, give me a phone. And he picks up the phone and rings. And then we cut to Enzo in the hallway of a hotel room with his phone ringing. Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's Cass. Ignore. And then it looked really dumb because there's a camera following him and Cass could see him hanging up on him. And it was just like, I'd be really mad if I like called you and there was a camera following you around and they showed me a live feed of you hanging up on me. I'm like, oh, fuck you, Graham. Yeah. So he's standing outside the hotel room and he's like, this is a bad idea. This is really bad. I should go. I shouldn't be here. His conscience finally catches up with him and he's like, okay, this is bad. And then Lana just opens the door and she's wearing like a slinky red robe. Yeah. And she's like, you should come inside. And he's like, nope, I absolutely should not. And she's like, no, please, come in. And he's like, okay, I'm going to come inside, but I shouldn't be here. And he's trying desperately to get out of the situation now. Yeah. But not fucking hard enough, buddy. Because then Lana's like, here, have a drink. And he's like, well, just one. And then he crushes a thing of champagne and she's like, take off your shirt. And he's like, sure, that seems like a great idea. And then she's like, cool, now take off your pants. And he's like, well, when in Rome, and takes off his pants. And she's like, cool, now wait here, and goes in the next room and is like, Rusev. And Rusev, of course, is there and comes in and is like, how dare you? And then just beats the shit out of Enzo.
That's actually the only good part about this whole was that this whole like kind of these segments on this episode of Raw. The best part was watching fucking Rusev kick the shit out of Enzo.
Just trash a hotel room.
Are we supposed to be cheering for Enzo?
I don't know. The whole thing is weird. Yeah. Right? It's like, sure, he came around on it and he was like, oh, this is bad, I shouldn't be here. But he still went in there and like this is so stupid. And even Rusev's motivation, this whole plan, by the way, it was a setup. Yeah. Lana's like, you really think Rusev's the only man that can have me? You really think that I would, go up with a pathetic American like you or whatever, and puts the ring back on and is like, got you. This whole thing was set up because Rusev was mad that Enzo was naked backstage. Yeah. Every Rusev storyline apparently surrounds Lana / Rusev being an idiot. Yeah. This was dumb.
Remember when
Sidewalk Slam tries to bring more positivity to wrestling reviews because online discourse is usually so negative.
Do you remember at Hell in a Cell we were like, man, I hope Rusev moves on to something great after getting beat up by Roman Reigns?
Feuding with Big Cass would have been fine, but this story?
Yeah, that's what like the feud, it's fine, but what they're doing to like get us invested in this feud isn't working because this is like, all right, so Enzo is trying to hook up with a married woman. Rusev was using Lana as bait because he was mad that Enzo was naked in front of his wife. Yeah. But Rusev didn't bother getting all the details of the situation and why Enzo was naked. Yeah. So it's like, he kind of looks like an idiot. Enzo looks like an asshole. Yeah. And Big Cass is just kind of picking up the pieces. Mm-hmm. Like the next week on Raw, Enzo and Rusev have a match. And Rusev just kicks Enzo in the groin. And that's it. Yeah. Gets disqualified and leaves. I'm trying to remember anything else that happened in this feud that was worthwhile.
I mean, then this match happened.
Yeah. And this match happened like...
On the pre-show.
On the pre-show. And during the match, Rusev like clubbed... Like, basically attacked Enzo from behind. Mm-hmm. And then, while Big Cass was checking on Enzo, Rusev got back in the ring, and the ref counted out Big Cass because Big Cass was so concerned for us. So, I'm assuming, like, are they going to break up Enzo and Cass?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
How do I go from, like, thinking Enzo and Cass are great to just being like, I don't really care about either of them.
Bad writing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible like how fast it went, though.
They're super charismatic, and they're great to watch, and not when they're doing dumb stuff like this. Same with Rusev.
This sucks.
Yeah.
It
was a bad storyline.
Yeah.
And you should feel bad. Real quick, I guess before we get into the actual show proper, a couple things that popped up on Raw that don't actually have bearing on this show.
Yeah.
Because I realized after Survivor Series
that we were skipping some stuff that just
we talked all about SmackDown because everyone on SmackDown sort of shows up, but there's some people that got lost in the mix on Raw.
Yeah.
Titus O'Neil and Mark Henry had a match. One of these episodes of Raw was from Texas, and they had the tussle in Texas.
Okay, but should we mention first that Titus O'Neil's gimmick now is that he is promoting the Titus brand.
His personal brand.
His brand.
And that is shown by him going, #Titus brand. That's it. He just talks about how the Titus, it's going to be a great day for the Titus brand.
Yeah.
That's it. And he insulted Mark Henry backstage because
they were in Texas.
He was being interviewed the week prior. Mark Henry was being interviewed about being in a WWE film, and they showed the scene where it's an Aaron Eckhart movie that's being produced by WWE Studios. Mark Henry plays a bouncer who gets his ass kicked in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That was the entire
Would you be
scene.
happy with that? When I saw that, I was like, if that was...
Because
someone's like, you were in a movie? And I'm like, yeah, I was in it. And they're like, let's go look at the footage. I'm like, please don't look at the footage.
Please don't look at the footage. Then Titus comes in and is like, that part was supposed to be mine. You stole that part. I'm mad at you now. And so the next week they had the tussle in Texas, like with special match graphics and everything. And Titus was handing out flyers backstage, and it was a squash.
It was a
legitimate squash match.
Yeah. Mark Henry squashed the Titus brand.
Mark Henry just goes wham, 1, 2, 3, done. So that's those guys.
Yeah.
Darren Young has not been seen. There was a battle royal before Survivor Series.
Has he been dressing up like Bob Backlund?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a battle royal before Survivor Series, and Darren Young was in it, dressed like Bob Backlund with white shirt and red suspenders.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Paul Heyman had an interview.
Oh, God, this was awesome.
The show after Survivor Series where they were like, what happened at Survivor Series with Goldberg? And he's like,
we fucked up.
We screwed up. We completely underestimated Goldberg, and that is on us.
Yeah.
And that won't happen again.
Oh, the best line of that whole interview, too, was like, and he's like, if Goldberg's going to be in the Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar's going to be in the Royal Rumble, and there's going to be 28 losers, or 1 winner, 28 losers, and 1 victim. And I was like, yeah! Get him, Paul!
Yeah.
Like, I know we just spent 2 episodes complaining about Brock Lesnar, but back on the Brock Lesnar train, baby! Because if Goldberg wins the Royal Rumble, I'm burning the arena to the ground.
Yep. And they continue to run promo packages for Emelina.
Yeah.
Who had better be worth this.
Because every time they promote her package, though, promote her package, they say she's debuting next week and then she doesn't debut. Are they doing an Eva Marie thing?
I don't think so.
Or they just why do they keep pushing it back? I don't know.
I don't know. So Emma, who was great, went out for back surgery.
Yeah.
And then they started airing these packages. I assume, this is me being very, very cynical, but I assume that Vince looked at her Instagram and was like, my God, she's really hot.
Yeah.
This should be her gimmick. What, Vince, that she's really hot? Yeah. Because the promos are just literally just showing pictures of her fitness bikini pinups from Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's the remake or the makeover of Emma into Emelina coming soon. And it's really? Because she was fucking badass, and now her whole bit is just that she's an Instagram model.
Badass. I mean, she kind of got lost in the shuffle when she moved up from NXT. She was on the main roster, right? Yeah. Which I didn't see, and then she went back down to NXT. And she was awesome in NXT.
Came back up to the main roster.
And she kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Out for surgery, then brand split.
Yeah.
Well, she was feuding with Becky.
Oh, right.
And then that's when it was her and Dana. And then she got hurt. And so it's ugh. And this had better be worth all these promos. Because
I don't think it's going to be grand.
I don't think it will be. By the way, you mentioned Eva Marie.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
We'll get to that.
This comes up later, actually.
But I'm scared that... Because, I mean... We keep on bringing up the Shining Stars as a prime example of weeks of fucking vignettes that just went nowhere. What do we know about Emelina? This is the problem! We keep bringing it up! What do we know about Emelina? Fucking nothing! We don't know! So what's gonna happen when she comes back? People are gonna be like...
oh, she is hot.
Yay,
just like that promo said.
Yay, boo! I'm like, and I'm not saying that everyone needs to be like, you're a good guy, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
But we need to know, we want motivation. Look what happened to fucking Apollo Crews.
Wow, yeah.
Where is Apollo Crews? He hasn't been on TV for weeks, has he?
He was on the pre-show for TLC.
No, for fuck's sakes.
He was in a... You remember they had 2 tag teams and Apollo Crews versus 2 tag teams and Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah. Oh, right. Kurt Hawkins. At least with Kurt Hawkins vignettes, we knew what he was about.
Yep. Apollo Crews smiles a lot. He's good at smiling a lot.
He's just happy to be there.
And that's about it, actually. That doesn't come up on the show, I think.
Yeah, I think. We're probably missing something because we miss it. You know what? I felt really bad because some people in the YouTube comments, I know they're not doing it like maliciously. Like, oh, I wish you guys would have covered this. I'm like, fuck, you're right. Like when building up to Survivor Series and all the Raw women came out and beat up Becky Lynch. Yeah. And we didn't bring it up because it's just like, you get caught in the heat of the moment, man.
There's so much.
This is so much. But
So, the opening bout on the actual pay-per-view is a tag team match with the New Day defending their titles against Cesaro and Sheamus. Yeah. So, we talked about this a bunch. New Day, because they've been making a big deal about it, will New Day beat Demolition's undefeated streak of 478 days? Yes. You know, will they do it? And of course we're like, so yes, obviously they will. Something I completely forgot about this, or just never knew. I think I knew some point and forgotten about it, but last time we were musing, I think it was the Hell in a Cell episode, we were like, why would did they like have something out for Demolition? Yes. Both of them are they're 2 of the like 40 plaintiffs in a concussion lawsuit against WWE. Yeah. And so that's how WWE do it. They get real petty about stuff like that. So because the 2 guys from Demolition are plaintiffs in this lawsuit, they're like, well, then you are not going to be holding that record anymore. So then that would have made it totally obvious that New Day is breaking this record for sure. Yeah. So on an episode of Raw on the day, because it worked out that it was like it was like the day that the record ticks over. And so if they win this match, then they're good and they win it. And so Raw opens that day with the New Day defending against the Club, Gallows and Anderson. Yeah. And Cesaro and Sheamus. Yeah. And it's a good match. And they do. They retain.
I don't remember how they retain. I can't even remember.
Chicanery, I'm sure.
Chicanery.
Yeah. And the chyron at the bottom of the screen says that the New Day beat the record for longest tag team champions. Yeah. Just like, no, you mean the longest record? Yeah. The record for the longest title reign.
Like, are they the tallest? Like, did they lay them end to end? Because there's 3 of them, right? Oh. Yeah, because they're the longest. Because there's 3 of them. Of course. I've cracked the code. Yeah, because it's cheating. Yeah. Were they longer than the Freebirds?
I don't know. How many? Were there like 5 Freebirds?
5 Freebirds? Yeah.
Oh, Spirit Squad though.
Oh shit!
Damn it!
God damn it!
Anyway, so they go backstage and they have a party. Yeah. They have their locker rooms and they're having a big like celebration party. Bob Backlund was back there.
Yeah. Stephanie McMahon gets covered in champagne, gets really mad.
Gets really, really mad about it. Yeah. Because they're like spraying champagne everywhere and she's like super furious. And Kevin Owens is like, hey, I got a great idea about what you should do to punish the New Day. Because, more on this later, the best friendship between Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens has hit a couple bumps. And Kevin Owens thinks that a great way to get them back on the same page would be for Owens and Jericho to win the tag team titles. Yeah. And so he convinces Stephanie, as punishment for the New Day, to make New Day defend their titles again against Owens and Jericho on the same night. Yeah. Because
those dastards,
if they lose, they still haven't beaten the record because it's the same day. Yeah. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns get cranky and they insert themselves into this match.
Cranky.
So it's another triple threat match.
That's the best way to describe those 2 getting together.
They were just like, man.
They got cranky.
So it's another triple threat match with Owens and Jericho, Rollins and Reigns, and the New Day. Yeah. And because the other 4 can't get along to save their lives, the New Day retain. And so they do indeed beat the record. And Demolition is no longer on the record books as the longest reign, and everyone's happy.
This the episode where Owens was like baking with Chris. This was the go home episode of Raw, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, because okay, we'll get into this. Sorry, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So the New Day are still the tag team champions. They hold the record.
Yeah.
And I was all in on they were losing this match.
And guess what?
Guess what? We have new tag team champions.
This was a 10-minute match.
Yeah. Didn't feel.
I can't believe it was so short because so much happened and it felt awesome.
Yeah.
This match
Cesaro was the best.
This match was great.
Yeah. Cesaro just runs a train on everybody in this match.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, and I've become a fan of Sheamus.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think I would ever like Sheamus.
So there was a scene. This was
the bar scene?
Yeah, this was really weird.
It was pretty awesome, though. I liked it.
I really think that WWE needs to change how they shoot.
See, I don't think this is stuff that
stuff.
I just don't think
Well, it feels awkward because the camera is so obviously present. Like there's light coming from the camera. It's like it's shot like a live sports remote. It's not shot like a cinematic scene.
The only thing that I had a problem with this scene was like, did they build the walls and build this bar?
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Like another bar, kind of.
It really looks like it.
It really looked like it.
Yeah.
Because Sheamus and Cesaro, I think this was after they lost to the New Day one of the weeks, because the weeks leading up, the New Day were defending every week.
Yeah.
And one week was Cesaro and Sheamus.
And they lost.
And then they went out for drinks afterwards. And this guy comes up and is like, "Hey, you guys lost again."
And they're not getting along either, right? They're fighting, but they're like, "Look, whatever. Let's just drink and not talk to each other."
Because they think that they're not teaming up after this.
Yeah, they're like,
"We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done."
Sheamus is drinking Guinness and Cesaro's drinking
vodka martini.
You're right, of course, shaken not stirred.
Yeah.
And yeah, some guy comes up and he's like, "Haha, you're from Ireland, and haha, you're Swiss, and you're both foreigners, and I'm an American."
Did you know they called the Swiss 19?
The Swiss 19.
Yeah.
Wow. So anyway, they insult them, and Sheamus and Cesaro beat up everybody in this bar.
Have a team bonding exercise.
And they take it over. It ends up with Sheamus behind the bar, being like,
awesome.
Being like, "Here, Cesaro, you have a Guinness as well," which
he doesn't drink. Yeah,
he's like,
really awkward.
Thank you. I'm just gonna.
And Sheamus is like drinking, and Cesaro's
like, "Please cut, please cut, please cut."
I couldn't figure out if it was his character,
or if he's
talked about it in later interviews. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to drink any Guinness. No, I'm good, thank you."
Yeah.
I don't know if he doesn't like Guinness.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, they're now sort of they're not 100%, but they're now sort of back on team together.
Yeah.
And yeah, they work together in this match really, really well. The New Day.
And sorry, leading up to this, there was a tribute to the troops. This is where they won.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either, but this is where they won there was like a tag team triple threat or some shit. And
okay.
That's where they won the #1 contendership.
Cool.
Because the go home Raw leading up to Roadblock, there was like no tag team match announced.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, is there a tag team match? Are they not defending? It's like, holy fuck.
That seems weird, yeah. So, yeah, and multiple times the New Day tries their stuff. Like Woods is the non-participating guy.
Yeah.
And he like jumps. He does like a massive high kick.
Yeah.
From outside at one point and knocks someone loopy. And they what else? What's the other thing they do? Like he pulls someone out of the ring. Like they pull out every trick in the book they can do.
Yeah. He distracts
with the Francesca 2 Turbo.
We have to keep track of this shit.
Yep. And it's just such a good match.
Yeah. And Cesaro, at one point, Cesaro grabs Kofi Kingston. What is he?
They have an amazing sequence back and forth.
He does like a deadlift suplex into the neutralizer.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this guy is the strongest man on the planet. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I couldn't get over it. They do the thing where Cesaro has him in the sharpshooter and he taps, but he's distracted. The ref gets distracted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like everything every sneaky trick in the New Day's arsenal, they pull out and it doesn't quite work. Yeah. Like it's close, but it doesn't quite work.
And the finish.
Yes.
The finish is brilliant. Because at the time I thought they fucked up when I was watching it. And at the end of the match, Sheamus goes to tag Cesaro.
This was brilliant.
And Cesaro pulls his hand out early.
He's like, whoop.
And
Too
the tag
slow.
misses. And I was like, what the fuck? What just happened?
And so the ref is like, no tag.
But Cesaro gets in, and he gets hit by a Trouble in Paradise, which is just like a spinning kind of...
It's one of Kofi's old finishers.
Yeah, his spinning kick. How dumb is the SOS, by the way?
It's very strange.
That's a dumb move.
I haven't seen the SOS in a while.
He did it in this match.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's like, SOS, still a thing.
All right.
So he does the Trouble in Paradise and hits Cesaro and goes for the pin, but the ref doesn't make the count.
Because Cesaro is not the legal man.
Yes.
And so while Kofi's pinning Cesaro, Sheamus just tackles him off the pin and
rolls him up.
Pins him.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. And I was like, oh! Then it clicked.
And Kofi's like, what the hell just happened? And the ref's like, he wasn't the legal man. And Kofi's like, wow, we got. Holy crap. It was so good.
Yeah, and the New Day coming to terms with the fact that they got swindled.
Yeah.
The swindlers got swindled. You can't bullshit a bullshitter.
And so then they bring the belts. They like look at them longingly one last time, and then they hand the belts to...
Sheamus takes the belts while Cesaro is hugging with the New Day. And Sheamus is the one cheering with the belts.
Xavier Woods tweeted, congrats at WWE Cesaro.
Yeah, just basically they'll build up the
shade by omission.
Yeah, they don't like Sheamus, but they're willing to give Cesaro props.
Yeah,
but hey, Sheamus and Cesaro tag team champs. Good for them.
Really, really good.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's away from the New Day, and maybe the New Day now will move on to like maybe more singles matches.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, I know a lot of people want to see Big E in the main title scene, the Universal title scene.
Next match is Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn in a 10-minute time limit match.
Okay, it sounds dumb.
It does.
I fucking loved this match.
It was pretty great.
And I felt like a lot of people really hated it. Felt it was predictable.
I can understand why.
I can understand why. Yeah. I love this
Sometimes
match.
Predictable stories are good.
Yeah. So building up to this match, after Survivor Series, Sami Zayn got punished for not winning the Intercontinental title.
Yeah. So he's the only one who got... By the way...
Yes, this is fucking bullshit, by the way.
Because I mentioned it in the Survivor Series episode that Stephanie threatened them all with their jobs that they had to win at Survivor Series. And I was like, nothing's going to come from that.
Yeah.
And nothing did, but they mentioned it, which we've said before, at least they mentioned it. Foley was like, hey, when you said you were going to like fire them, you weren't serious, were you? And she's like, no, of course I wasn't serious. I was just trying to motivate them. Jesus. And it's like the worst kind of motivation ever. Pay attention, managers. Don't do that. And... but she was still angry that Raw lost that match and the Intercontinental title, so she's like, tells Foley to make an example out of Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And so...
And Sami Zayn lost the title because Maurice cheated for Miz.
Yeah.
Which is like, the whole thing, I was just like, really? All right.
So, Mick Foley... Remember, Mick made this match.
Yeah.
He decides to put Sami Zayn in a match against Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
The mountain man who's been like not from the mountains, who is a mountain, who's been just destroying jobbers.
Yeah.
And
he's moved on, but in the weeks even before Survivor Series, he's moved on to like main roster
like
guys.
low card guys,
Sin Caras and R-Truths and Curtis Axels and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Strowman just beats the piss out of Sammy. Just like
it's pretty.
He's bleeding. It's awful. And Foley comes out and stops the match.
Yeah.
He's like, stop. Zayn can't defend himself. This is over. This is, we're throwing in the towel. And, and Strowman's all like, I'm angry. This is a weak, puny human.
Do you think Braun, like at the beginning of Braun's theme music, is it him yelling Braun?
It's him yelling. I don't know if it's him yelling Braun.
How good would that be?
Kind of funny.
Think about it next time you hear that music.
Braun.
He's like a Pokemon. You can only say his name.
Braun. I am Braun. And so then in latter weeks, this is over the course of multiple weeks, Sammy's like,
I need this match.
I want to have another match against Strowman.
Yeah.
And Foley's like, no. What? No, you're crazy. He starts yelling at Sammy. He's like, you don't understand what you actually want. He starts yelling at him so bad his teeth fall out.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, his bridge, and he's just rips it out of his mouth.
See, the build up to this match was they weren't selling that you can't win. It's just like you can't survive.
Yeah,
like you just winning. We're not even thinking. Winning's over here.
I'm a little bummed that most of the promos leading to this match were Foley, and that
Yeah.
Sami Zayn didn't do a lot of the talking
He
himself.
got a little bit in at the last one.
Yeah, but basically, the point is, over the course of a couple episodes of Raw, Sami's like, let me have a match against Strowman, and Foley refused to give it to him.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where Sami's like, if you were one of my wrestling heroes, and now I'm learning that you don't believe in me, and so you don't believe in me, Raw doesn't believe in me, maybe I shouldn't be on Raw.
And internet rumblings, there's a lot of people like, just trade Sami. He's not being used properly.
Yeah.
And this is them playing on, like, us. Because we're all like, yeah,
Real
fucking
nice.
trade him.
So Foley is like, if that's what you want, I will call Daniel Bryan and Shane right now, and I will set up a trade.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? And Sami's like, yes. And so like, okay. So later in that show, Foley's like, all right, here it is. And he has like a binder. He's like, I got a contract right here. We're going to trade you to SmackDown for a talent of equal value. This is what you want? And he's like, yep, it sure is. Like, all right, we'll just sign it. Do you want to know what talent we're trading you for? And he's like, I don't care. He's like, really? You sure? Eva Marie.
Yeah.
Who, by the way,
Yeah.
we have not seen since August.
Yeah, she got suspended and then she just...
For 30 days, and there hasn't been back since.
She dyed her hair black. I know that.
Oh,
She's not all red everything.
What? Flip. The brand. The brand. And Sami goes nuts. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm worth 10 Eva Maries. I'm worth 100 Eva Maries.
I'm worth 1,000 Eva Maries. Like, yeah, you...
Yeah.
he's
Also,
not
like,
lying.
Burn.
Yeah.
And he just goes livid on Foley. And
Foley was just like, haha, it's a trick.
he's like,
there
look,
was no contract.
it's a blank piece of paper. There was no contract. This intensity, this anger you're feeling right now, I want you to remember it because this is what you need when you face Strowman at Roadblock. And I'm not looking for you to beat him. I'm just looking for you to survive for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, Zayn was pretty intense earlier this episode, Mick. Like, I don't know if you needed to do the whole fake trade thing to like get his fire going. He was pretty angry with you like a couple hours ago.
Oh, yeah.
But okay. Also, this puts Strowman in a really weird position because it's like Sami Zayn is good, and they've shown that he's good.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's really good. He beat Kevin Owens in that feud,
Yeah.
and then was forgotten about for a while.
Yeah.
And if even someone like Sami is in a position where the best the general manager can hope for is for him to survive, whoever beats Strowman one-on-one clean.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it'll be
That's
interesting
true.
to see how they handle that.
Yeah. I am scared.
Yeah.
Because of the Brock Lesnar scenario that we ran into. I hope that we don't have it.
Yeah. So
With Braun, right?
this match, it's not a pinfall or submission thing.
Yeah.
Strowman is going to try and get a pinfall or submission on Sami, but all Sami has to do in this match is last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, how do those 10 minutes shake out?
Fuck, I loved this match. It was just Braun beating the shit out of Sami for the first like 3 or so minutes. The only thing I didn't like was Mick showed up halfway through with a towel.
Yeah.
To throw in the towel.
Get it?
Is that like a rule?
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean, though? Like, can someone just show up and, like, let's say I was having a match and you just came down the ring and like, fucking towel. And they're like, well, I guess Adam gave up because Graham threw in the towel for him. Like, piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, thanks a lot, Graham.
Yeah, well, I thought you couldn't do it, so I decided.
Like, is that a rule?
He's the general manager, so I guess.
I guess so. But I guess it's just because you want that. It's the visual, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it's a rule. I'm just exaggerating. Yeah. But it's just like you want that visual of the towel being thrown in.
Zayn gets some offense.
But yeah, after they have this little thing where Zayn's like, don't throw it. Give me that towel.
He takes the towel and like
throws
chucks it into the crowd. He's like, not like that.
Imagine if you threw it into the ring and the fucking ref would ring the bell.
Oh, okay, yeah, ring it.
But then
ding, ding, ding.
Strowman's like, I actually really like Strowman during this too because he's like, throw it in, Mick. Throw in the towel for him because if you don't, I'm gonna kill him or something. He doesn't say that, but that's gonna be the end of Sami Zayn. And then Sami throws the towel into the crowd, and then Sami kind of like stumbles away, and Braun charges at Sami, and then Sami moves out of the way. He's leaning against the ring post, and then Braun runs into the ring post, and this is where Sami starts getting some offense in. And he looks like he like starts holding his own, which is good. I don't want to see Braun not be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Sammy hits the haluva kick just as time runs out.
Yeah.
So I felt like it did I know, like, look, I know this doesn't really do anything for either guy because we know these things about them already.
I guess.
We know that Sammy's an underdog. We know that Sammy won't quit.
Yeah.
We know Sammy has a lot of fighting. We know Braun's strong.
That's true.
And we know Braun's dangerous.
Yeah.
And we know Braun.
Yeah, I guess this didn't actually tell us anything new.
It didn't tell us anything new, but I still liked it. And I liked how it made Braun look. Braun was able to talk during the match, and you could hear him. And it just added a little bit to his character. And Sammy just plays this role so well. And I know it's going to get tiring after a while, but like I'm assuming that they're going to fight the Royal Rumble.
Probably.
But Sammy survives the 10 minutes, and Braun is unhappy.
My least favorite part about this whole feud is actually just been Mick Foley. And not that I've disliked him.
Just how present he's been?
Yeah, just because, like, for years, like, before Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley would show up and talk to the face going into Hell in a Cell and be like, you don't understand what it's like. Or if someone's going to have a particularly hardcore match, Mick Foley shows up and gives them.
How did you feel when he did it with Dean Ambrose? Because it wasn't that much, though. He just came out and showed him, gave him the bat. Remember this year?
Yeah, that was fine, right? But it's like that's what Mick always does. But this, I guess I can understand why Sammy was upset because it really felt like Mick was being like, no, I know better than you.
Yeah.
And this is the decision that I've made, regardless of how you feel about it.
That's interesting. I never really felt like that. But again, I missed that span of time where Mick was showing up to do all that stuff. You know
just maybe it wasn't less prevalent than I thought, but he definitely.
No, you make a good point though. Like I can see it from your standpoint. Let's just fucking agree, Graham. God damn it.
I like the match too. I also thought the match was sweet.
Yeah, the match is great. I liked it. I'm excited. I'm actually more interested in the Braun Strowman character now than I was when he was just squashing jobbers.
Definitely. Next is a non-gimmick match, just a normal one-on-one match.
Regular old-fashioned wrestling, the way God intended.
Between
one-on-one.
Between Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho.
Yep.
It's a little odd. I don't know why these two have beef necessarily.
Well, I mean, Jericho just keeps interrupting every single one of Rollins' match with Owens.
I guess most of the roster would be like, I'll fight Jericho.
Yeah. Actually, in the build-up to this, though, Seth Rollins addresses the elephant in the room and says that he wants Triple H. Finally. Fucking finally.
Like 3 months later, he's like,
oh, by the way,
I want to fight Triple H, or at least know why the hell he screwed me out of winning the title and giving it to Kevin Owens.
Because we still haven't got a reason.
Yeah, because he's like, because he never said why, and Adam and I are like, no shit.
Yeah.
So basically,
that was like one of the best moments of the year.
Yeah.
And nothing happened.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Triple H handing the title to Owens.
And because now the title picture on Raw is Kevin Owens and his best friend Chris Jericho, and Seth Rollins trying to sort of chip in there, and Roman Reigns
just being like shoved in, like literally
like a locomotive,
just like
just drive a wedge in there.
Yeah.
United States champion Roman Reigns, by the way,
which he never mentions.
Yeah.
I fucking hate being so down on him all the time. But it's just so easy.
I've come to terms with, I zoned out during this match. I've come to terms with the fact that I actually, we've said this before, that like people are booing him, and you just want a reaction, right? You want to be cheered or you want to be booed, but the worst thing would be no reaction.
Yeah.
I have come to the conclusion that I have no reaction.
To Roman?
Yeah. I'm out.
Okay.
I just don't care. I just don't.
I'll still boo him if I see him live.
Yeah, no, so will I.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna make your big sign?
I don't know how much paper I need. I think both of us might have to hold it.
It'll be so great if it's legible, though. I'm still making those AJ Styles signs.
Nice.
Okay. But anyway, the build-up to this was just literally Rollins was sick of Jericho interrupting all the time.
Yeah.
Rollins calls Jericho Sparkle Crotch at one point.
You know why?
Because of his tights?
Yeah. That's why.
Why he did it?
But do you know
why?
The not storyline reason why?
No. Do I wait? No, wait. Just wait.
This is confirmed by him.
Vince thought it was funny.
Yes.
Fucking bangarang. Time to quit the show. Fuck.
That's why he said it once, and Vince thought it was hilarious, and that's why he's been saying it every time since then.
Jesus. That's hilarious.
Sparkle crotch.
Sparkle crotch.
So, yeah, like it's basically just that they're all in the title picture.
Yeah.
And Jericho's been preventing Rollins from like getting at Owens, and he's been interrupting stuff, and he's been being a jerk and whatever, and so yeah, so this is a one-on-one match.
Rollins says like, oh, sorry, yeah, the real reason, like when Rollins called out Triple H,
yeah,
Rollins is like, but to get to, how do I get to Triple H? He's like, well, I should probably take the title away from Kevin Owens. Is like, yeah, but the Hell in a Cell, this was after Hell in the Cell. It's like you failed miserably, I guess.
So he's like, well, step one.
Do you know in like a video game when you have to kill a bunch of minions to make the boss show up?
Yeah.
That's what Seth Rollins is trying to do, but he can't kill the minions.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, step one on my long-term plan.
Yeah.
Take out Jericho.
Yeah.
So that's why he's doing this. That's his step one. That's his motivation.
So at least we have a game plan, right?
Yeah.
Like I respected the fact that they made it vocal.
Yeah.
Rather than just being like Jericho coming out and being like, you stupid idiot. As great as that would be, but the match was good.
Yeah, the match was good. They're both really good wrestlers. It was super entertaining to watch back and forth. But the twist comes in that not all is sunshine and rainbows in the land of best friends, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
In my favorite promo that they've ever done, the one after Survivor Series.
Fuck, it's the best.
Chris is hosting the highlight reel.
Oh my god.
And he says he's figured out whose fault it is that they lost at Survivor Series.
This might be the segment of the year.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
He's like, I figured out whose fault it is that we lost at Survivor Series, and I'm going to tell you all now. And I want to call Kevin Owens out here. And Kevin Owens comes out.
Yeah.
And he's like, Chris, you don't need to say anything, because I've figured out whose fault it was.
Well, they bicker back and forth for a while.
They bicker a bunch.
They like, and the crowd's like, it's in Toronto, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Toronto, and everyone's like, "What? No!" Like we thought they were breaking up.
Yeah, because they're like, you know,
like, I don't need you anymore.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear what you have to say. You know, like we both know what happened last night at Survivor Series. You know, so this is like I am sick of listening to you, and we both know whose fault it is. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I know we do. And then they just stare at each other for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then in unison, they're just like, it's Roman Reigns' fault.
Yeah.
And then they hug.
Roman Reigns!
And they're just like...
And they're like, yeah, and then he was sweating conditioner out of his hair, and like, fuck, they just hack into him for like,
It's the silence followed by, Roman Reigns' fault. Huge bear hug, and the crowd just like, yeah.
Yeah, we were so happy. I was happy. I was like, oh, thank Christ they didn't break them up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But there have been some cracks showing recently, and it's basically that Jericho was like, look, I've been there for you, helping you out.
Yeah.
Every time you've been about to lose the title, and you know, like I was there at Survivor Series, I was there at Hell in a Cell. No, not Survivor Series, but I was there on this thing. I was there at Hell in a Cell. You know, I've been saving you from this.
Yeah.
You know, it's been me. And Kevin's like, well, I don't need you. I don't need your help. And Jericho's like, oh, well then, okay.
All right, see you later.
Bye. And Owens is like, this is amazing because of how he dealt with Sami Zayn, I kind of assumed that this would go the direction of Owens, like Zayn warned Jericho, Owens not caring and turning on Jericho.
Yeah,
but Owens has been like legitimately hurt.
Yeah.
Emotionally by the notion that Chris might not be his best friend anymore.
The brilliant thing too was like, remember when this first started and Jericho was like all in, and Owens was kind of like reserved about it.
He's like, okay, I guess we're friends. Sure, why not?
And every time like Jericho would be like, yeah, we're the Universal Champion, and Owens would be like,
okay,
sure. But now it's like this great character arc of Kevin Owens just like growing into a person that could actually have like a friendship with somebody. It's fucking fantastic.
And Jericho's like, fine, you don't need me for your matches. I don't want you for mine. Do not help me out. And Owens would like try to help him out, and Jericho would be like, no, don't help me out. We're not friends. Don't do this.
Yeah.
And so at the end of this match, Kevin Owens runs down to try and help Jericho.
Sorry, quick aside.
Yeah.
There's a segment I think leading up to, is this before when they're showing up at the arena, Kevin Owens tries to give a present to Chris Jericho, and it's a scarf, a Christmas scarf.
It's a Christmas scarf,
and it's fucking adorable.
It's so cute.
And Jericho just like throws the scarf away and then walks away. But
Owens
that's
looks
it.
so
But
hurt.
it's like, and Owens looks so sad, and I was just like, I'll be your best friend, Kevin Owens. Yeah.
So
Owens comes out, and Jericho's like, what are you doing here? Like, get out, I don't want you here. And he turns around into a pedigree.
yeah, but he counters the pedigree, yells at Owens, but Rollins is able to counter Jericho's codebreaker.
Into the pedigree. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like he goes for the codebreaker, he catches him, and then he just kind of like flips him over and into the pedigree. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rollins wins to the surprise of no one.
No.
I mean, I thought Rollins was winning this match, but
There was an
like Jericho and Owens have been the best part of Raw.
Yeah.
And everyone else has just been kind of like pretty stagnant. Like they haven't really been doing much. Like what has Rollins been doing? Call it Triple H,
That's it, though.
but that's it.
He's been like, hey, I'm also in the title picture.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Hey guys, remember the Shield?
I mean, Owens hasn't defended the title that often.
no.
So,
But I don't think he needs to.
no.
Oh.
Well, because there's actually stuff happening.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
there's an actual, but this Kevin Owens character arc
Oh, it's been great.
has been awesome, and this is going to define his title run, right?
Yeah.
Like is like what happens. It's not so much about him losing the title. I think
And
it's
I was
just
concerned.
what happens between
I was
Jericho
concerned.
and Owens.
I mentioned last time I was concerned about like the list being more over than the title, or like how
don't
it
think
was all about. How it was like, is it a problem that his first title run is so much about Owens and Jericho, best friends forever, and
I don't think it's a problem.
no,
I
because
think
it's
a
actually
very
been
good
super
thing,
entertaining and
'cause
really
it's
well
been
handled.
Awesome, yeah.
The next match on the card tonight is the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah.
Rich Swann
Yes.
defending against Brian Kendrick and TJ Perkins in a triple threat.
And you're probably like, hey, Adam and Graham, I thought Brian Kendrick was the Cruiserweight champion because he beat Kalisto at Survivor Series.
Correct.
And I would say you are correct. But the WWE has maybe realized that they've really fucked up this whole Cruiserweight thing and has added more television hours
Yep.
to the, which I haven't even watched 205 Live.
No, they have the Cruiserweights have their own hour-long show called the 205 Live. It airs live on the network after SmackDown, meaning that everyone who showed up for SmackDown is leaving the arena.
They tape it now.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. They're taping it now because the first episode, they did it live right after SmackDown, and the fucking arena was almost empty, and the crowd was dead, and it was not good.
No.
But Rich Swann beat Brian Kendrick on the first episode of 205 Live.
Yeah. And the promo that the three of them cut before this match is really entertaining. But we don't have time to get into Cruiserweight storylines. There isn't really a storyline.
There's actually, at the end of this match, there's a great storyline that comes out of it.
Yeah. Which we will talk about in a second. But
The match is like...
basically the pre-match promo is Kendrick being like, look, Swan, I need to warn you about your friend, TJ Perkins. And Perkins comes out and he's like, hey, Swan, he's going to tell you that I'm not to be trusted and I'm going to turn on you and I'm only using you because I want my shot at the title. And it goes over to Kendrick and he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. And TJ's like, all right, that's not the case.
Yeah.
And Rich Swan's like, don't care, just want my title, go away. So they have the match.
Yeah.
Rich Swann retains.
Yeah.
And who comes out to congratulate him? The man that the creative team forgot. Neville. Neville comes back.
Neville's back!
And they apparently were friends in Japan.
Gravity can't hold him down, but the creative team sure can.
apparently Neville and Rich Swann were friends in Japan.
Yeah.
They've like worked together before. And I think a lot of people, including us, have been like, where the fuck is Neville? Why isn't Neville? Where is he?
Yeah.
And if you don't have anything for him, why isn't he in the Cruiserweight division?
Yeah.
He's probably too muscly to actually meet the weight requirement, but he's like that sort of size.
He looks bigger than he did before.
So yeah.
He's like not a tall dude, but he's just
power packed. And he gets in the ring,
Beefcake.
and he's like walking over. He's like, "Rich, my boy, how's it going? I'm so happy that you beats
Bam.
the fuck out of Rich." And he like beats the tar out of him, and then beats up everybody.
Yeah.
So angry heel Neville.
Awesome. Everyone's like, yes, this is what we want. So let's hopefully, I think he gets some, I haven't watched Raw from this week, but I think he gets some mic time and they explain why he did it and stuff. So I just want the Cruiserweights to succeed because they are one of the reasons I fell so hard in love with wrestling.
The first time?
Watching WCW and like being like, wow, these guys are great.
Yeah. They sure are fun to watch.
Yeah.
Next, Sasha Banks
Oh, right.
defends
Yes.
the WWE Raw Women's Championship against Charlotte in a 30-minute Iron Man match.
And I'm pretty sure
Hold
you're
up.
saying,
Hold up.
Hey, Graham.
We just did Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
and Charlotte won.
Yes.
Why is Sasha defending?
Well, there's a rematch clause. The rematch clause strikes again.
They can only do this so many more times.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the time when they do a rematch clause feud, and it just goes on for like fucking 5 years. Just rematch clause after rematch clause after rematch. It's going to be Brock Lesnar against Bill Goldberg for the Universal title. Rematch clauses for 2 years.
Jeez.
Would we just skip
until
over it?
one of them like gets a heart attack or something? On an episode of Raw,
Sasha and Charlotte have their rematch.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the match, or not in the middle of the match, while they're having the match, they both get counted out.
Yeah.
And then I think, is it Mick? Who's like, well, we can't really have it. I don't want it to end that way. So he's like, you guys are going to have a Falls Count Anywhere title match on this episode of Raw.
Later
tonight.
Yeah.
And so they have this Falls Count Anywhere match, which is very good. Charlotte hits a sweet moonsault from where the announce table is. Mm-hmm. And fuck that. I would never do that. I don't think I could even do a moonsault, to be honest with you.
Like where the Raw announce table is.
I can barely do a somersault. Yeah.
I can roll over.
Graham's infamous finisher, the log.
Yeah. You have to yell steamroller first. Steamroller.
You have to get in a sleeping bag.
Yeah. You gotta be, if we're camping, watch out.
You're done.
But anywhere else, I'm just...
he's one very specific match type that he's good at.
Yeah.
And in this match, they were fighting. Actually, the ending was great because they were fighting up the stairs, like into the crowd. And Sasha Banks puts Charlotte in the bank statement through like a railing.
Yeah.
In the crowd, and Charlotte taps.
Now this match was taking place in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
And they played the clip of Charlotte firing Rick, basically, back in May, being a horrible bitch to Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And in Charlotte, Ric Flair is basically a god. And so Sasha says, well, if Charlotte doesn't respect Ric Flair, I do. In fact, I dedicate this match to Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And so they do this match. She puts her in the bank statement through the railing thing. Charlotte taps out. Sasha wins the title back on an episode of Raw, as is her oeuvre.
Yeah.
Gets in the ring, holds the title up. Rick's music hits. Ric Flair comes out, gets in the ring with Sasha, holds her hand up, and gives her the like, hey, check it out.
Gives the old raisin point.
Yeah. And that makes Charlotte very upset.
Yeah.
There's shots of her being very upset. So the next week, she calls Rick out. This is why Rick was there, to give Enzo his limo. Remember we mentioned that? Don't worry about it. So Charlotte basically wants to publicly apologize to Rick.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, I'm sorry I said all those things. I realized how wrong I was. I'm sorry. And Rick doesn't even talk. He's just like, okay. And they hug. And then Charlotte
JK, you son
clocks
of a bitch.
him and is like, how dare you come out here and be like raising her hand? I'm your daughter.
Yeah.
And how dare she dedicate her match to you?
Yeah.
What the hell?
It was an awesome promo. I actually really liked it.
It was great.
I think Charlotte's been in the top 5 this year.
Sasha comes out to defend Rick, and Charlotte beats the crap out of her.
Yeah.
And then I think Sasha brings it up as the challenge. She's like, fine, you want another shot
I think
at this?
it's like the next week or something. And she's like,
Iron Man match.
Well, at first there's like an interview with Charlotte, and she's like, iron sharpens iron. And then another interview, Sasha's like, well, we're going to have a 30-minute Iron Man match. I find it weird whenever they call it an Iron Man match. I think they called it, when Bayley and Sasha had theirs, it was the Iron Women match. I don't know why. I don't know. It just sounds weird to me.
So this is the second only women's Iron Man match in WWE. And the first one was Sasha and Bayley. So,
which, if you haven't seen and you just have the network, like, you've just got to go back, watch it.
Yeah, it's an amazing match.
It's great.
So what's an Iron Man match? Well, typically 60 minutes, but 30 minutes for the women's matches.
When was the last time they did a 60-minute?
It's been a while. I think it was probably Orton and Cena.
God,
it's been a while.
I wouldn't want to watch that match. Was it good?
It went on for a while.
You know what one of my few joys in life is? watching your face when I bring up any Orton and Cena match. Because there is a visible drop when it happens.
It was so interminable.
I know.
It just never ended.
It's becoming one of my favorite things, though. Hey, Graham. Orton
what?
Cena. just like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Because the only Iron Man match I've ever watched was the first one.
The I Quit match that they did was not bad.
Not bad?
So, anyway, basically, you have a time limit, and whoever gets the most pinfalls or submissions during that time limit wins the match. And so it wasn't the first one. Didn't the first one go to a draw?
First one was Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12?
So they wrestled for an hour.
They wrestled for an hour with no pinfalls and no submissions. It's actually a very good match. Well, it's two of the best in the world, right? Two of the best ever.
Yeah.
And then it goes into overtime, and Shawn Michaels wins.
Nice.
I remember being really upset because I hated Shawn Michaels. I love Bret Hart. So
How was this match?
this match was very good.
Yeah.
I have a problem with 30-minute Iron Man matches because most matches go 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like tack on 10 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, but if you think of it not like an asshole, like I did there, you know what I mean? Like if you think of it just in context of like a 30-minute Iron Man match. I was like,
if you're curious, the match lengths on this show, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, as dictated. 17 minutes for Jericho Rollins.
Okay.
6 minutes for the Cruiserweights. Spoilers, 35 minutes for this 30-minute match. And then, and then 23 minutes for the main event.
Okay. Well, I guess that's over-exaggerated on my part then, because not all matches go 20 minutes. All right, that's fair.
Well,
okay.
They were very long matches previously. I think they made a point of keeping them shorter on the other ones.
No, like the Cruiserweight match was 6 minutes. I didn't even realize.
They go quick.
Yeah. This match,
not just the matches, the Cruiserweights.
I thought they were going to go the way that, like, no pins or pinfall, like pins or submissions in the first 30 minutes and go to overtime, because the way the match was kind of building.
Yeah. I think it was still like 12 minutes before
it was
the
like
first
13
pin.
minutes or something like that. Charlotte gets the first pin after hitting a natural selection off the top rope, which was, wow. I actually missed the one where Sasha tied it up because I was in the bathroom, and I don't remember what she did.
But yeah, Charlotte got one. Charlotte does a huge
moonsault.
No, she does a suplex, and then the moonsault's later. She does a suplex. Sasha's hitting elbows to the back of Charlotte's neck, and then there's a series of counters, sort of back and forth, and then Banks actually gets a roll up, for a pinfall, ties it up 1-1. Then there's a moonsault that hits nothing. Yeah, it was amazing. She just whoop, Sasha rolls out of the way. Charlotte just goes slam into the ring. Yeah. Looks really painful, and then on the back of that, Sasha gets another one with the bank statement. Yeah. And then it's like it's really counting down. It's like a minute to go, and they're exchanging shots, and Sasha's in a great position to win. And Charlotte manages to get her in the figure four. And then manages to lock in the figure 8. Yeah. And I actually missed exactly what happened to Sasha, but she is bleeding.
No, this was...
Oh, that's after. The bleeding's after.
The bleeding's after.
Right. So
okay, a lot of people... I felt this was dumb, too, as far as looking at this as, like, in kayfabe. Because, like, Sasha was in this figure 4 for, like, a minute.
Right.
Like, a long time. And then she taps out when there's 2 seconds left on the clock. I have a hard time suspending my disbelief that someone wouldn't. And she was looking at the clock, right? Yeah. It wasn't like
it should have been like a little longer.
Like, I would agree if Sasha was turned like she couldn't see the clock and she didn't know how much time was left, and you get lost like because pain lengthens or shortens time, like and she wasn't sure how much time was left. She's like, "Fuck, I have to tap out because I can't get to the ropes." Yeah. But she was looking at the clock. That's my only minor nitpick with this match, and it's pretty minor. But just tapping on this. It did seem
so like last second, diffusing the bomb, contrived, kind of like, 3, 2. Right?
Yeah, and it's like I would have much rather. Why not just have her tap out at like a minute left or something? You know what I mean? Like that would have been fine.
Or even like 20 seconds.
Yeah. That's my only problem. Yeah. It's like it's very minor, and it's like whatever. It's wrestling. I'm able to suspend my disbelief a great amount, and it was like tapping out with 2 seconds left. Okay. Yeah. So then. They go into a tie, and then the referee's like, well, we're going to go into sudden death overtime. Sudden death overtime. This is how we do it. And I don't know where it happens, but Sasha's mouth her nose gets busted up.
I think it's Yeah, I don't actually know where it happened either, but yeah, she's
good God,
blood all over her like face and jaw.
Yeah, and for basically the entire overtime, Charlotte is working Sasha's leg.
Well, I mean, she was
murdering.
She was
her.
working the leg the whole match, but then she just goes.
She goes
nuts on it.
Yeah, and like there's a point where she like does like a jumping stomp in the corner when Sasha's leg is like kind of tied up with the ropes, and she chop blocks her and puts her in just kind of like, transition holds, I guess, in building up to this finish. Sasha gets Charlotte in the bank statement, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is the end then, I guess. And Charlotte reverses the bank statement into a figure 4 and has it locked in for like a little while. And there's this great shot of Sasha leaning and like trying to grab the ropes, and her face is all bloody.
She's getting closer and closer, like slightly closer and almost reaching it. Yeah. I think actually at one point she probably could have reached it.
Yeah.
And then just like she gets pulled back by Charlotte.
Brilliant. And then she finally has to tap out. Charlotte Flair is like 14 or 15-0 at pay-per-views. 15. 15-0? She's undefeated in pay-per-views. This won me $100 this match.
Yeah.
Because at work we did like a pool where everyone put in $20. We picked every match and we guessed. I got 5 right.
Nice.
I don't know how many matches are on the card. But.
And this was positioned prior to the show as the like last.
Well, they specifically said there is no rematch clause.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, no rematch clause, that's it. So this feud is finished. We're done.
Yep.
And it was fucking awesome. I love this feud. I love this story. I loved both women.
It was really, really,
like, they're
really good.
great. And I know a lot of people had a problem with like, well, they hot shot the title around, and I was like, what my stance on it is, what is the problem with two people in a feud being equals that either could win at any time?
Yeah.
And I think that that's the story they try to tell with this. I mean, Charlotte ended up being the better one, but Sasha definitely never looked weak at any point in this feud.
No.
Sasha was always poised to win. So they have since moved on to Bayley and Charlotte, and then I guess it's Nia Jax and Sasha going forward.
All right. I look forward to seeing how this goes.
But this was the match of the night.
Yeah.
Like, easily, hands down.
And now, your main event, Kevin Owens, WWE Universal Champion.
Sorry. There is a brilliant segment. Kevin Owens cuts a promo on a door.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because I think leading into this,
right.
Kevin Owens goes to Chris Jericho after he screwed up with Jericho at his match.
Yeah.
He goes to Jericho's locker room door, and he just cuts a promo on this door.
He's like, hey man, can you let me in? Can we talk about this?
Yeah, and he's like, you know
no?
what?
All right, then just listen.
Yeah, and he's just listen. Like, I'm sorry. You know what? If it makes you feel any better, you can put me on the list.
Yeah, get the list. I know that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Get the list out. Put my name at the top. I know that'll make you feel better. No? Nothing? Come on, man.
Fuck, it was awesome.
And the announcers are like, gee, how's this? Because he's like, this is really hurting my feelings, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, how is this going to affect Kevin Owens' mental state going into this match, this title match later tonight?
Yeah. And it did. He showed a little, like, here and there, like him. He looked like, I don't know if he intended it or if it was just me placing that there, but he looked like he wrestled like a man who had lost something. Or that he was distracted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the way he was moving and stuff, like not the usual Kevin Owens that we've been watching all year long.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens a prize fighter, you know? Fucking fight Owens, fight. He was.
By the way.
God. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So it's Kevin Owens defending against Roman Reigns.
Yeah. How did this happen?
Well, so they're on the highlight reel we mentioned, and Owens and Jericho decide that Roman's the reason that they lost at Survivor Series. And Roman comes out and just ignores that and is like, I want your title.
Yeah. That was pretty much it. There was a great line by Roman.
Yes.
I don't want joke Owens joke. I want fight Owens fight. And that was awesome.
That was a great line. I wrote that down. That was a great line.
Yeah.
I don't care about joke Owens joke. I want to talk to fight Owens fight.
That he then immediately ruined by saying to Owens of Jericho, it's okay, I know you have to check with the wife first.
No rush, no rush. Take your time. I know you got to discuss it with the missus. I'll wait.
Fuck, why?
Right?
Why, Roman? There's even a segment that he did with Chris Jericho backstage, and Jericho's like just tearing a strip off him, and Roman's like, whatever, all right.
So what bothers me and what bothered a lot of other people is that Roman Reigns is the United States champion, and he's done nothing with it.
Yeah.
They say on commentary,
and I quote,
he loves to defend the title.
Yeah, what the fuck?
He is proud to be the U.S. champion. Don't you lie to me, Michael Cole. I like you, but don't you sit there and lie to me. How many times has he defended the title? Trivia. How many times has Roman Reigns defended the title since winning it at Clash of Champions?
Twice. Once against Rusev, the night after. Once against Jericho, leading up to this show.
It's actually 4 times.
4?
Once against Rusev.
Yeah.
Once against Rusev at Hell in a Cell.
Oh, right.
And then 2 matches against Jericho on Raw.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Against Rusev and Jericho?
Since mid-September.
Holy.
He's defended it. All those episodes. And don't come at me like, well, he defended it at all these house shows. We've talked before. House shows are not canon.
Yeah. John Cena's
even when they try to make it house, because Michael Cole's like, he defends it all the time, like at this house show in Mexico. It's like, no, Cole, because we didn't see that. That's not on TV. That's the whole point of a house show. I went and checked the record database. Yeah, he's barely defended this title. When everyone was loving what John Cena was doing, he was defending it every week. And I'm not saying you have to defend it every week.
Yeah.
But you should at least care about it. He even carries it like slung over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And there was that great sequence pre-Survivor Series where he comes out with it so you can't even see it. And Mick Foley is like, I'm just going to put this on the front of your shoulder. And Reigns is like, what do you, all right, I guess I'll do this now. And it's just like,
John Cena must be rolling over in his tanning bed right now.
he doesn't love to defend the title. He's not proud to be the U.S. champion because he never talks about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about the belt. He just carries it around.
Yeah, because
it's a complete afterthought. It didn't even come up in this match. He challenged Owens for the belt, and Owens didn't get to say, well, fine, but if I win, I get that title. This wasn't a match for both titles.
Yeah.
Which is, for Owens, for the prize fighter Kevin Owens, makes no sense.
Oh, fuck, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a real good fucking point.
Right? Like, Owens should have been all over, well, fine, but if I win, I get the U.S. title. This absolutely should have been
because, I mean, like,
a match for both
kayfabe,
titles.
more titles means more money.
Yes. And so, again, this is not a Roman Reigns problem. This is the way the writers are handling the Roman storyline problem.
Yeah.
And it's maddening. And they had a great opportunity to do something really cool, storyline-wise, when Jericho challenged Reigns for the U.S. title.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm going to challenge you for it. And if they'd put it on Jericho...
They made... Owens got the match for Jericho.
Yeah.
As part of the... He's like, oh, guess what, buddy? I got you a match with Roman Reigns, and you're going to win.
But if they'd given that to Jericho, they could have done interesting stuff with Owens and Jericho as the Universal Champion and the U.S. Champion, because why not? Because Reigns isn't doing anything with it. Yeah. There's no benefit. It's a complete neutral entity on Reigns.
Yeah.
That's
the biggest problem.
Over here.
And it's not even... Yeah, it's just like... How do we explain it without, like... It's not Reigns specifically. It's just what they're doing with him.
It always has been.
It always has. Like, I feel like we have to bring this up every show because I don't want to sound like the rest of the internet. You know what I mean? Where they're like, Roman Reigns is garbage. Roman Reigns isn't garbage.
I don't like how he delivers most of his promos.
His promos are bad.
But he is also over-scripted.
But Roman Reigns, I'm talking mainly about Roman Reigns' in-ring work, which is very good.
It's fine.
It's fine.
He's got no...
It's from fine to very good.
Yeah.
But... Yeah, this, like, the shit that Graham just brought up, like, that makes all sense, and it's very legitimate.
He hasn't...
I didn't even think about the prize fighter Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't Kevin Owens want this?
Roman hasn't talked about the title in... I mean, basically the whole time he's held it, right? It's been the other people. Like, in this case, Owens was like, hey, I set it up so that Jericho's going to challenge for that title, and Reigns was like, all right. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, Reigns his character does not care about the U.S. title, which is stupid because it's bad for the title. It's bad for Roman Reigns. It's not interesting, and it's. I don't know why.
Why they're doing it?
I don't know why management has such a hard-on for
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
I don't think we're ever going to know the answer to that question.
No, I don't.
I definitely agree with all the stuff about the U.S. title. It's just like it's not a thing anymore.
No.
When it was becoming a thing. Even when like Kalisto had it and stuff.
Yeah.
It was still a thing.
That was interesting. That was super interesting.
Like him against Del Rio and then...
Yeah. Then him against Ryback was a little less...
Yeah, but I mean, him against Rusev was really good.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
That was cool.
And Rusev with it. Rusev talked about how he was the U.S. He had U.S. champ on his tights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reigns does not give a shit about it.
Yeah. Anyway. On the Go Home episode when they had that tag team match that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Jericho and Owens have a miscommunication.
Yeah.
And Jericho gets visibly upset. And there's this moment where Owens is begging with Chris, like, don't leave. Like, please stay here. And I was just like, holy fuck, I don't think my heart can take this right now.
He's so
like,
hurt.
He's selling it perfectly. Like this is way more, this is way better than I originally thought the storyline was going to be. I was really interested, like, it was entertaining.
The best friend storyline?
Yeah. The best friend storyline was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, team up, they'll do funny things.
That definitely turned out way better than I thought.
Yeah. I thought they'd be funny together, but the
Roman Reigns aspect has been...
Like, I'm going to care when they break up. I didn't think I was going to care.
Yeah. And Owens obviously cares. The bell rings, and he immediately bails out of the ring just to, like, go for a walk.
Dude, there's a moment, too, like, before the bell rings when Kevin Owens has to give the belt over, and he, like, doesn't do it for a good, like, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a man who, I think, and when I was watching that moment, I was like, well, he thinks he just lost his best friend, and he might lose his title. So he's really doubting himself right now. And he does, like, the classic, get out of the ring and just take a breather and walk around for a bit.
Like, as soon as the bell rings, just because he wants to get his head clear. Now, during this match, Owens does, I think he has him in a
headlock,
or a chin lock or something, and he does yell, if you're so tough, why didn't you put your title on the line?
He says you have no balls, specifically.
And it's like,
great.
It's a little late for that.
Yeah.
Kevin, I believe that's Kevin, I want to believe that that's Owens ad-libbing that himself.
Yeah.
But that's a good point you make.
Yeah.
The match is fine. I have nothing really stood out to me.
Not really.
I did mention that I sort of like didn't really care.
Yeah, it's just like it was more just waiting for when Jericho was going to show up.
And he did.
Yeah.
And so the match was going fine. Like, it honestly looked like it could have gone either way. Like, it didn't. Reigns was not in like a dominant control position, nor was Owens.
No.
But Jericho comes out, walks up to Owens, who's confused. He's like, "Oh my God, you are here! Hooray!"
Yeah.
And Jericho gives a code breaker to Owens.
Yeah.
What
was your initial thought when that happened?
I actually thought that it was going to end up the way that it did. I don't know why he used a code breaker, his finisher, when anything would have worked.
But I think that they were trying to sell that
Yeah.
Kevin was willing to take that for their friendship.
Yeah, because outside interference attacking Owens means that the winner by DQ and still Universal Champion is Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
After the match, while still being sort of dazed in the corner, Owens is like, well, what the hell just happened? Jericho gets the Universal belt and is like looking at it like he's like, yeah, I'm coming for you next. But then goes, nah, I'm kidding, buddy. Here you go. Maybe the thing of Owens talking to the door, maybe that was all real and it worked.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe it was a
work.
Oh, yeah, maybe they were just playing around with everybody. But the point is, they're still friends, and Jericho helped Owens win the title by getting him disqualified.
Yeah. And I'm surprised they didn't do it by just attacking Roman, just the way it was booked, you know what I mean? To make us feel bad for Roman.
Yeah.
But at no point did I feel bad that
Roman looked real upset afterwards, by the way.
Yeah, he looked pretty upset.
On the way up the ramp, Seth Rollins comes out.
Yeah.
And they're like, uh-oh. And they go back down, and then there's a big sort of melee. And
Schmozzle.
Rollins and Reigns knock Jericho down, and then they beat up Owens a bunch. And then it's like, 2/3 of the Shield are back together.
Yay.
And I'm like, I would have waited. I would have just gone with Rollins for now. But
yeah. I mean, everyone was like super excited when the Shield like got back together at Survivor Series.
But that was all three of them. That was different.
But it's just like, all right, so Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are now friends.
Yeah.
When
Reigns definitely received what I would call a mixed response.
Define mixed. How mixed? 5%, 95%?
The way the commentators refer to it as a mixed response.
Yeah. So, yeah, they Shield powerbomb Jericho through the Spanish announce table, I think, and then they catch Owens and Shield powerbomb him through the announcer table up at the top of the ramp. And that's it. Rollins and Reigns kind of like are like, we're the best, toughest dudes on the planet.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's it. That's how the show ends. I would say that I wasn't really happy with how the show ended. Like, the Jericho Owens stuff was fine.
Yeah.
But, like, Rollins and Reigns, like,
I don't think that was necessary.
I don't think it was necessary either. I don't understand what they're trying to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, so Reigns and Rollins are best friends too?
That makes no sense.
Makes zero sense. Why would they be? They should still hate each other.
Rollins especially should still hate Reigns after all the stuff through the whole like authority angle.
Yeah.
I mean, and vice versa. For the same reasons.
Yeah.
It makes no sense
Rollins,
for them to be
like,
friends.
Totally turned. There was actually, sorry, on the build-up too, there was like a moment where Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns had a match, and Seth Rollins and Jericho were banned from ringside. And then Jericho showed up in a
Sin Cara mask.
It was actually great because the way they explained it wasn't Jericho in a Sin Cara mask. It was Sin Cara in a Jericho mask, and it was just really lifelike.
According to Jericho,
yeah, it was pretty funny. So that I was like, all right, I'll give it to you. But yeah, that's it. That's Roadblock. It was overall it was okay, but there was some stuff I really liked.
Yeah,
like the Sasha and Charlotte stuff, and Sammy and Braun, and the New Day. And actually, there's more good now that I listed all out.
There was definitely more good than
like Neville showing up.
Yeah, there was definitely more good than bad over the whole
all the
course
stuff
of the
with
show.
Owens and his character building.
It's just been Raw recently has been dominated by, like in the lead up to this, has been dominated by two storylines that I have not liked, which is the Rusev, Enzo and Cass, Lana, that storyline, which has not been great, and the
like that
and
all
the Roman
that stuff
Reigns
we talked
story.
about him. A lot of the stuff, except for showing up naked. I'm not showing up, but being naked, and then after that, with meeting Ric Flair and going to see Lana and all that build up, that was one episode, and that's a lot to eat up in one episode for a feud. It's just like too much,
and it's just like.
I don't even know what they're trying to do. Like,
not every Rusev story has to be about defending the honor of his wife.
Yeah.
Also,
can it just be Rusev like he hates Americans? Like he does. Like that's his character, right? We want to. Like, I mean, I don't want to boo him. I don't
care. I think Rusev's great, but So it's like
the guy came in a fucking tank.
It was a sweet pay-per-view overall. There was again some stuff I didn't like that we talked about, but it's
with everything, right? Like
it's hard not to look at the build-up that's been happening and be like, all right, let's just
So, since it's been announced that Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns are having a rematch, the Royal Rumble.
At the Rumble?
Yeah.
That's been announced.
That's official.
Oh, boy.
And Kevin and Jericho is being suspended in a cage above the ring, which is awesome.
They're doing this stupid shark cage thing. Okay.
Are you ready? Are you prepared?
To be live on site.
Live on site when Roman Reigns wins the Universal title. Because you know it's good. I don't see in any universe, like, puns aside, but universe where... like it doesn't happen.
People are going to be so mad.
I know, right? And then Roman Reigns fights whoever wins the Rumble, I guess, unless they do it for SmackDown. Because how does the Rumble work? Is it just going to be like whoever from whatever side they're from?
During the last brand split, it was whoever won challenges their brand's champion. And then,
what if Goldberg?
Then after the brand split dissolved, then you got to choose.
What if Goldberg wins though? I mean, I don't want Goldberg.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think either of them are going to win.
But
I
I'm
think
just
they're going to beat the crap out of
hypothetically
each other.
speaking.
I guess he can. Raw, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Could you? You know what I've always wondered?
What?
Can you challenge for any title?
Yeah, at the time when ECW was around,
yeah, you could do
it. Would have been theoretically possible. I think we talked about this that the Royal Rumble winner could challenge for the ECW championship, but that would have been stupid.
Just like, did we talk about? I'm sure we talked about it when they happened. Money in the Bank. Like, could you cash in on the tag team titles?
I think you need 2 people for that.
Could you cash in on the Intercontinental? Well, you get another person.
That makes more sense. I think you could do the Intercontinental titles.
But I mean, like, what if you got another person when it cashed in on the tag team channels?
Sure.
There's avenues that we haven't explored. But I guess, like, none of those titles have been, you could say they're not worth as much as, like, the big title. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, we did it, Graham.
We did it.
We fucking did it. We caught up with 2016.
It's only December 22nd. It's okay. Roadblock was only like 2 days ago at this point.
9 days to spare.
4 days ago.
Yeah.
5 days ago.
No, it was last Sunday.
Yeah. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday? Fuck me. All right. But we did it. That's the important part. So all you haters out there.
Haters to the left. Next week we're going to record, I don't know when you'll see it, but next week we're going to record a 2017 retrospective show.
2016.
2016.
2017.
Nah, I'm going to predict the future. Meh.
Yeah, we're going to do a best of the year kind of show, but not the very stuff. Like, we'll have the stuff you usually see, like, ooh.
We're compiling a list of categories.
So if you have any suggestions.
Inspired initially, actually, by suggestions I already solicited from you on Twitter.
Yeah.
By the way, my Twitter is @Graham_LRR.
My Twitter is @WakeUpSuper.
And thank you all so much for your suggestions. Don't bother sending any new ones. I've compiled a list. In fact, by the time you see this episode, we probably will have already recorded that one.
Yeah.
So just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And a reminder that this show and everything that we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. Please like, share, and subscribe to these videos.
Also, Loading Ready Run has a Twitch channel.
Oh, yes,
twitch.tv/LoadingReadyRun. Shows every day. Multiple times a day.
It's crazy over there.
It's crazy, man. You can see all kinds of stuff.
All right. That's it for tonight.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Talk to you next time.
Bye.